What's up YouTube? Capital G here. Got a nice replay to show to you guys, and this one is Fire Fist versus Kozmo, and I really wanted to get this one up because I haven't really done any Fire Fist matches in a super long time, especially if you're talking about like a Synchro version of Fire Fist. I can't remember the last time. It should have been a dead giveaway by the red resonator in this guy's opening hand, but this is a version of Fire Fist that's more, I guess, focused on Synchro summoning. Obviously, it can still XC summon because the archetype is chock full of like level 3 and level 4 monsters, so the XC plays are always going to be there, but red resonator actually opens up some pretty cool plays with Fire Fist, especially considering if you use it with Caribou. When you go into a Fire Fist Synchro monster using this guy, when it hits the graveyard, you actually end up getting a fire formation from your deck and you get to set it on the field. Obviously, if you go into Horse Prince and you get Rooster, like the pluses are actually pretty ridiculous, honestly. You guys see this guy's opening and it's pretty nuts. He's paired up against MetalFoes Kozmo, which is it's an interesting decking concept. It kind of works a little similar to like Fire King Kozmo, where you kind of want to blow up your ships to get like you know, kind of be able to toolbox your guys, be able to get the things like Straw Man and Tin Can whenever the hell you want. Kozmos don't really mind blowing up their monsters that much. They're very similar to Yang Zings. They don't even mind when their opponents blow them up, they blow them up. It doesn't really matter. That it's not that big of a deal to them. All right, so let's go ahead and roll this and see exactly what happens. So Fire Fist open up with the red resonator, goes into the Caribou, Horse Prince is going to trigger, and then Caribou's going to trigger. So he gets the Tinky for free, then he gets Rooster off of the Horse Prince, and he gets the Search as well. He activates the Tinky, then he pops the Tinky with Rooster, ends up setting a Tensin. He goes for the Wolf Bark, and I mean, he's just rolling, guys. He makes the Tiger King, he sets a Tensin to the field, and then he sets 2. Now let me just pause right quick. Now let's just see what this guy did, basically. This guy opened with 5 cards, and he now has what, 3 in the front row, 4 in the back row. That's 7 plus the 2 in his hand, 9 cards. This dude basically went plus fucking 4 on his first turn. I mean, I don't care what deck you're playing. If you can go plus 4 and you don't have to use like Pot of Desires or Card of Demise, like that's pretty fucking impressive. Like you guys have to admit that, especially for Fire Fist. Like this isn't the newest deck on the block. Like that's pretty damn strong. So I think that that's a pretty good opening. Now let's see what happens here with MetalFoes Kozmo. Obviously, he wants to set his pendulum scales setting. He pendulums 2 into a Solemn Strike, but he is still able to activate Forerunner's effect because it is technically destroyed by the Solemn Strike. So he's able to get the copy of Slip Rider, and this is where kind of like just being able to like, this is where Kozmos don't really care about being destroyed. Phoenix Chain is played on the Slip Rider, so his card doesn't get blown up, but there you go. MetalFoes can pop that card, they can pop the Slip Rider, and then Slip Rider can get Straw Man, and then Straw Man can just get the Forerunner back, and it's like, man, this is the plays here, guys. So he's able to actually pop his Forerunner again, and because he popped his Forerunner, he's literally going to be able to summon again. So he goes into another Slip Rider targeting that back row. Tensin is chained, but I mean, you just look at like how he was able to get rid of all that back row. He normal summons Straw Man, gets Forerunner again, goes into Gachi. I was kind of surprised by that. I was like, wait, what? Gachi, who the fuck still runs that? But hey, don't laugh at it, because look, his field is actually supercharged, and just like that, the duel has completely turned. I mean, you look, the Fire Fist guy had Solemn, he had Phoenix Chain, he had Tensin, his field was like fucking broken, but like Fire Fist guy completely just wrecked his field. And honestly, if you look at the board, you'd say Fire Fist were probably going to get shit on, right? Because, I mean, how you getting through all of this? Keep in mind that both of these are, you know, they're like 400 attack more than they should be. So, they're not going to be the easiest thing. Plus, they float. So, the Forerunner dies, and then during the end phase, he gets a Landwalker. He ends up locking down the set card with, what's it called, Gyaku. Then he normal summons the Dragon. Okay. Actually, I think he used the Tensin, or excuse me, the Tensu summon. And then Dragon's effect activates. He searches a card, then goes for the, gotta pause it, gotta slow it down a little bit. He ends up going for the Wolf Bark, and then he goes for Tiger King. See, this is where cards like Tiger King and Rank Up Magic Numeron Force are just so good. Cards that can basically turn off all of your opponent's monster effects. You know what I mean? Like, they're so good because, you know, he's just able to take down everything. And he summons Cardinal. Cardinal is such a good card for those of you who don't know. You spin back a couple of formations, and then you get to spin monsters on your opponent's side of the field back to their deck. So then he goes for the instant fusion play and he trishes his ass, and I'm just like, wow. I mean, I knew this deck was Synchro focused, but I don't think I've ever seen a Firefish player make Trishula. Like, maybe, I guess, if they were messing around with, like, maybe, you know, like Effect Veiler or something like that, if they had like a Bear Gorilla and Effect Veiler, or like a Wolf Bark and plus like a random 4 and like a Veiler. But I don't think I usually see people go into Trishula, and just like that, like, this is a duel where you literally just blink and it's like, wow, this guy looked like he was going to win the duel, and then the next thing you know, the tables had completely turned and he ends up basically just getting OTK'd. Well, no, excuse me, he has 100 life points left. He leaves him with 100 life points, but he pendulum summons the Gold Rider, and he's just like, all right, I scoop. I can't kill your F-Zero plus your Trishula. He ends up giving up. But that was a crazy duel just because it really looked like both players, after their turns, had complete control over the duel. And it just shows you how fast and aggressive Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks can be in this day and age. Like, even if you have a full field, like, it just doesn't matter. Like, people can totally get around your field. I think it's interesting that he's even playing an F-Zero, because I don't generally associate that card with Fire Fist. I think of it more as like a Burning Abyss type card. I mean, it's not a Burning Abyss card, obviously, but that's generally the deck that you see more often than not, you know, summoning F-Zero to kind of out like Dart Destroyer and whatnot. But I thought this was a pretty good duel, and at least it showed Fire Fist kind of going off, kind of showing that, hey, you know what, we're not completely dead, Cap. Don't forget about us. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll definitely have a lot more of these. If you have not subscribed to the channel, you need to go ahead and do that as well.